Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the day's top stories. Maruti hogs the limelight at Auto Expo with two big launches. Drives in with the Jimny mini SUV and the Fronx crossover. Makes it clear it wants to claw back market share it has lost in the past couple of years. Business Today TV brings you power conversations from the Auto Expo. Stand by for exclusive chats with the country's three biggest automakers in the next 30 minutes. Tata Motors turns showstopper at the Auto Expo with its huge range of new vehicles, continues with its early bird push in the electric space, also reveals two new turbo petrol engines to power its future range. Stock indices end lower for the third consecutive session. Sensex falls 147 points, Nifty down 38 points ahead of the release of inflation data in India and the US. Reliance and BFSI stocks drag markets. Double delight on the macro front. India's consumer price inflation for the month of December eases to 5.72% versus 5.88% in the previous month, while industrial output jumps to 7.1%. Day 2 at the Auto Expo brought the much-anticipated launches of two SUVs by Maruti, signaling how serious the market leader is in its efforts to claw back market share. There were other highlights as well. Maruti lifted the covers off its brand new crossover, the Fronx. The mini SUV is based on the Baleno hatchback, but shares its looks with the recently launched Grand Vitara. Bookings for the Fronx have begun for 11,000 rupees and the car could be priced at around 8 lakh rupees. It will go on sale this April from the Maruti Nexa outlets. The car will be powered by Maruti's 1-litre turbo petrol engine, making 100 bhp. Maruti also displayed its long-awaited mini SUV, Jimny, at the Auto Expo. The 5-door car, specially developed for the Indian market, had its global debut this morning. The 4-wheel drive model will have a 1500cc engine and is likely to be on sale later this year. According to sources, the bookings will begin in May and it first started selling in 1970. Suzuki prides itself on the vehicle's off-road ability and dependability. Toyota is leading its charge at the Auto Expo with its global flagship, the Land Cruiser. On display at the show is the LC300 with an option of two powertrains, petrol and diesel, both in V6 avatars. There is, however, no word yet on the massive vehicle's launch date in India. The Land Cruiser apparently has a waiting period of years in the global market. Among the only frontline luxury brands to participate, Lexus is readying the Indian buyer for its RX SUV range. The RX will be available in two trims, the RX 350h and the 500h Sport models. Both will be powered by turbo petrol engines with strong hybrid options. Price details have not been released, but the vehicle will rival the Mercedes GLE, the BMW X5, Audi Q7 and Land Rover Discovery. MG Motors took a step into the future with its unique 7 and MPV powered by hydrogen fuel cell technology. The vehicle is much larger in size than the Toyota Innova and even the Kia Carnival. It gets a 6.4 kilogram hydrogen cylinder, which gives it a range of 605 kilometers. It emits water from its exhaust and the vehicle is only meant to be a technology demonstrator for now. Aiming for the #1 spot in the SUV market, says Maruti MD and CEO Hisashi Takeuchi in a conversation with BTTV's Chetan Bhutani. He hails the purchasing power of the Indian consumer, says it's incremental in nature as we move ahead. With two new launches in the SUV space, how is the company placed here on? Listen in.
The SUV space is the fast-growing market in India. And this SUV is now over 40% of the total market is SUV. So, and out of that, the 4.3 meter length, this is one big segment. And another big segment in SUV space is the sub 4 meter segment. And today, we are introducing the important two new products to this sub 4 meter segment. and in order to grasp a very big chunk of the market share in this sub 4 meter segment SUV space.
So when would these two vehicles, especially the Jimny and the Fronx, would be available to the consumers in India? What pricing are you trying to put in? I know prices will not be revealed, I agree, but yes, would it be approachable to the consumers in a very healthy manner, sir?
Yeah, of course, we have to make it affordable for the Indian consumer. But at the same time, we don't underestimate the consumer purchasing power. The Indian consumer, the purchasing power is increasing year by year. So I'm sure that those two new products will be, accessible by the Indian consumers.
Right. Sir, from 16% market share in the SUV segment right now, you plan to achieve how much segment, how much percentage, in how much time, sir? Have you planned with these two new SUVs, sir?
I don't tell the exact numbers, but what I'm going to tell you that in the financial year 23-24, we are aiming to get #1 position in SUV space overall.
That's a great initiative and a very nice step that the Maruti company is taking. So tell us about these two products. Where will they be manufactured, and how much investment would the company put in to ensure that a seamless delivery of vehicles happens, sir?
Okay, so this Jimny products will come out from our Gurgaon plant, and Fronx will be produced in Gujarat.
Okay.
And those new products we had a decent investment. That exact amount I don't tell you right now, but we have very big investment to make production to start in the coming spring season.
Right. So the company is also facing a huge backlog of vehicles, huge waiting time, and the consumers are very patiently waiting for the deliveries. By when do you think would you be able to give that good news to consumers, and subsequently they will be able to have deliveries of their vehicles, sir?
I feel very sorry for those loyal Maruti Suzuki consumers to wait the arrival of the cars. What I can tell you now is this backlog was created mainly because of the shortage of electronic components, and the situation surrounding semiconductor is getting better and better month by month, and starting from fourth quarter the supply situation will be much better.
Tata Motors has meanwhile emerged as one of the anchors of the Auto Expo, with a large number of big brands skipping the event. Stall number 14 is one of the big draws. Let's take a look at what the company has in store at the Auto Expo. Tata Sierra is undoubtedly the company's showstopper at the show. Returning after an absence of 20 years, the Sierra shown at the Expo is a near production-ready variant. While the vehicle is slated to get an electric engine, it may also return with a 1.5-litre turbo petrol engine. The Sierra is likely to be launched in 2025. The Avinya concept created waves last year when it was unveiled via social media. The Auto Expo saw the car displayed in flesh for the first time. Based on Tata's Gen 3 EV architecture, the car is set for a market entry in 2025. Tata Motors puts the car range at over 500 kilometers with a 30-minute fast charging facility. The feature which stands out the most is the front light bar, which forms the brand's logo with a T-shape. Another Tata product expected with a pure electric powertrain is the Curve. The SUV coupe concept broke cover last year. The car will also be offered with a turbo petrol engine and is expected to go on sale sometime next year. The EV variant will have a range of 450 kilometers. On the inside, the Curve gets a 3-layer dashboard, multiple screens and angular design elements. Auto Expo also saw the electric variant of the Tata Harrier being revealed. The vehicle has some fresh visual elements with Tata EV cues, giving the 4-year-old vehicle a much-desired upgrade. The EV version, expected next year, will be a Gen 2 car with the option of 2 electric motors, making it the first time the Harrier is offered with 4-wheel drive. A new 1.5-litre turbo petrol is also expected. Also on display, the sports version of the Tata Altroz, the Racer. The concept gets the Nexon's turbo petrol engine, churning out 120 bhp power. This puts the car in the category of the Hyundai i20 N line. The Racer also gets a new digital instrument cluster and a sunroof. There's currently no launch timeline for the car, with the company waiting to gauge the response at the Auto Expo. With a packed lineup of 12 launches at this year's Auto Expo, Tata Motors takes up the showstopper spot. Broad-based theme continuing to be moving India forward with safer, smarter and greener vehicles. That's according to Shailesh Chandra, President of the Passenger Vehicles Unit at Tata Motors. Listen in.
This year we are showcasing 12 products, and this is on the theme of moving India forward through safer, smarter and greener vehicles. We have also announced our aim of attaining net carbon zero by 2040. So that's broadly the theme around which you are seeing the products here. In ICE as well as EVs. In ICE side, we are disrupting the market in the CNG space by first time bringing in the industry the twin cylinder concept, which takes away the compromise that CNG customers were facing on, the boot. There was used to be no boot space. Now this completely releases the boot space. So you have this kind of product. We are expanding the engine portfolio as we are expanding the portfolio on the ICE. So that is also on display. On EVs, we have displayed 3 cars. One is the the Avinya, which is the Generation 3 product. It's the first pure EV product that we are going to have, in the sense that it will only be EV, not an ICE. We are also showcasing Harrier EV today, which is slated to be launched in 2024. And that's a very popular vehicle in any case in ICE, and people are just loving the concept of EV with a slightly different look also, so it is being appreciated. Sierra has been an iconic brand, and it was, I would say, in early 90s it was ahead of its time. Possibly the time is now, where people, some customers will have nostalgia to that name, but the young buyers will go by the merit of the product. It's very clutter breaking product, very strong SUV stance. It is a product which will be in its segment providing great sense of spaciousness, real as well as perceived, because Sierra, the biggest strength is the glass, more glass inside the cabin, and therefore the overall visibility looks good. So Sierra is being brought because of the iconic equity that it has. At the same time, it is at the right time, because 4.3, 4.4 meter cars are the rage of what we see today. So it fits well. So these are the showcases that you see today. It is on our commitment that in the next 5 years we are bringing 10 EVs, and want to attain about 25% penetration in the next 5 years is the ambition. I missed one product, which is the Curve, which you see behind us. I should talk about it because this is something which we had displayed in April 2022 in its EV form. This is the ICE form of the same, and this also we want to launch in 2024. So all the products that you are seeing are not concepts. These are real cars going to come in the next 2 to 3 years.
Well, moving on, Hyundai had a star-studded launch with their oldest employee and our very own Shah Rukh Khan launching their brand new iconic 5. Embarking on the same EV journey as many others, Hyundai CEO Tarun Garg believes the iconic is not just a car, it's a living room in itself. Here's a slice from that conversation.
I believe that Ioniq 5 reflects the changing India, the transformation which is happening in the auto industry, and I believe it will play a huge role in this transformation towards electric vehicles and towards cleaner vehicles going forward. The car is very special. Not only it has won so many awards, including the World Car of the Year, but you can see the eGMP platform. It gives so much of interior space, luxury, comfort. The range is about 631 kilometers. The charging is very fast, 18 minutes, 21 minutes. Various different kinds of chargers, the ADAS level 2 safety. So everything has been taken care of. And last but not the least is the V2L function, where you can charge so many equipments from the car. I think this is a very unique function. So basically this car is much more than a car. It is a living room in itself, it is an office room in itself, and you can do so many things in this car.
Sir, give me a strategy on how the pricing has been kept. What was the thinking and the rationale behind the pricing? Because luxury EV makers are quite at ends right now because of the high input cost, also battery manufacturing also. So give us that sense, sir.
Look, frankly speaking, Hyundai has been here in India for more than 26 years now, and our endeavor is always to bring in the latest technologies, global technologies, great designs, great features, and at a price which gives value to the customer. I think the same thing has been done for Ioniq 5 as well. We're very happy to receive such kind of a great response on the pricing, and we believe that, like I said, this will be a big transformation happening, and so many customers will be attracted towards the Ioniq 5 for its beautiful features, for its great design, for its range and of course for its price as well.
Right. When does it go on sale? Could you give us that numbers, and what numbers initially are you targeting, and how much volume growth would you think this would add to your whole set of portfolio?
So look, frankly speaking, Ioniq 5 is not a volume model as such. So we'll go on sale from February. We have already received some 200 bookings. We have announced the price, which is going to be applicable for 500 bookings. And going forward, we will be meeting the customer demand as and when it comes. I think the response is fabulous, and as we go along, we will keep on increasing the production, as we get more and more customer bookings.
Even as most car makers continue to build on their EV print, expanding their presence in the ecosystem with a slew of launches, Toyota fills in that emotional gap at the Auto Expo with the theme of thrills and joys of riding together, with as many as 4 launches from the SUV space. Here are the company's Associate Vice President, Atul Sood, in conversation with Chetan Bhutani.
The broad theme of our pavilion basically is mobility for all, the thrill and joy of moving together. So that's a broad theme for the pavilion we have. And if you see our pavilion, what we have done is, we have showcased the multi-path technology towards electrification and beyond. So that's what we have done in terms of the fuel cell technology, in terms of the hydrogen technology, the pure BEVs, the plug-in hybrids, and the complete range we have showcased. Also what we have showcased in the technology is the self-charging strong hybrids, which starts with the Hyrider, goes on with the Innova Hycross, and then we have the Camry, the Velfire, and all the products in our range. And also what we have done is we have showcasing the sustainability zone, which means that we're not looking only at greener vehicles or the tailpipe emissions. We are also ensuring the processes we follow in our plant towards ensuring green operations as such. And finally, if you see, very interesting is the emotional zone on the extreme side, which typically shows how we want to provide the thrill and joy to our customers and the experience we give it to them. And we have the complete SUV range, which starts with the urban cruiser Hyrider, which is the all-wheel drive. Then we have the Legender, the Fortuner, the LC300, and not to forget, we also have the Toyota Hilux.
Right. Of course, sir. So give us a brief about the Innova Hycross. Has been, of course, receiving great demand. So tell us about the sales and the numbers attached to it. How are the bookings getting received? How has the response been on the ground? Those details, sir.
The bookings, Chetan, have been very encouraging. We launched it on the 25th of November, and the deliveries will start towards the end of this month, the customer deliveries. But the response has been overwhelming, and it sort of vindicates, our commitment to our customers in terms of new technology, which is the self-charging strong hybrid. Also, in terms of the QDR, we have always had. So I would say the response extremely encouraging, and we have it in both the self-charging strong hybrid as well as the gasoline grades.
So, sir, Toyota has had a great 2022 year, record number of sales, and almost done a decade. I think you've achieved good numbers. So, give us a sense, how would you be in 2023 and the next 3-4 years, the outlook, any numbers you can attach to that?
What we can definitely say is, last year, as you saw the numbers, we had the best numbers in the last 10 years. And also this year, we feel economy is on a good trajectory. There is good pent-up demand, and also we have very good response to both the urban cruiser Hyrider as well as the Innova Hycross. And not to mention even the other models, whether it's the Camry, the Velfire, the Fortuner, acceptance of the customers has been phenomenally good, and even the Glanza. So we are looking at a very optimistic approach for this year, and our only endeavor is how do we meet the customer expectations and give them the best experience possible.
Right. So what's next, sir? After the Innova Hycross is here, the new products that can be expected in 2023, any new launches in pipelines to our, of course, the future viewers and the future consumers?
See, we always continue to study the customer requirements, and we evolve our products and technologies based on the country's energy mix and the customer preferences. So that's what we would like to say as of now, and whenever there is any such thing, we will inform in due course of time.
Indian benchmarks closed marginally lower after remaining under pressure throughout the day. Asian markets settled with steady gains, whereas the European markets were trading marginally higher. Sensex down for a third day now. The index was down about 150 odd points, below 60,000. Meanwhile, Nifty slipped more than 30 points to report a third successive loss for the week. Market breadth was also evenly split today. 25 stocks settling in declines. Top gainers were SBI Life, Ultratech Cement, HCL Technologies, Larsen & Toubro, and Dr. Reddy's. Meanwhile, some of the top losers today: Divi's Labs, Reliance Industries, BPCL, Axis Bank, and Tata Motors. Infosys has reported a 9.5% rise in profits quarter-on-quarter. The IT bellwether's profit rose to 65.9 billion rupees in the October to December period. Total revenues up around 5% to 383 billion rupees. Infosys has revised its 2022-23 sales growth to 16.5% from 15 to 16% earlier. The company has won deals worth $3.3 billion in the previous quarter. It also added net 1,627 employees in the 3 months ended December. Marico Innovation Foundation launches the first innovation playbook in response to the rising global plastics challenge. The book identifies the challenges created by plastic waste at the macro and commercial levels and outlines the opportunities and recommendations for plastic waste. I caught up with the pioneer of this foundation, Harsh Mariwala, Amit Chandra, Chairperson Governing Council, Marico Innovation, and also Dr. Mashelkar, Governing Council Member and Chairperson Emeritus at Marico Innovation Foundation. Here's an excerpt from that conversation.
We use a lot of plastics. You parachute, Safola. I think the most asked question is, why are you using plastics? I mean, I wish there were alternatives to use plastics, because plastics is the cheapest and it's the most convenient packaging material. But I think the plastics, after usage, it has to be managed in the right way. And I think that's where the challenge comes in. If it is not managed in the right way, it has a huge impact on the environment. I don't have exact figure of how large, but all I can say is very, very large. It is impacting all of us. It is there in each and every city, town, landfills. So I think this is something which the time has come where all the stakeholders, whether it is the consumers, your own employees, the society, the government, they are all aware that this has to be managed in such a way that it actually reduces its negative impact on the environment.
We are talking about something like 300 million tons of plastics being used. That's huge.
Used, and I read in the report, I think it's single digits, or just about, is it 9% or 10% that's actually recycled?
That's correct. That's correct. So very small proportion is recycled. A lot of it ends up in landfills, in the sea, and so on and so forth. So the damage is really enormous. On the other hand, because it is so affordable and it is so widespread, you cannot say no plastic, all right? We have to say how we reduce it, but most importantly, how do we reuse it and recycle it, all right? So it's a combination of reuse, recycle, reimagine, as a matter of fact, is basic huge, and that is where technology plays a role, innovation plays a role, public policy plays a role. In fact, I would say 4 factors will play a role. One is social engagement. Second is technology. Third is economics, because it has to be viable. And finally, public policy. I would put it this way. It's a combination of these that we'll have to work out.
Yeah. So, Ava, let me just add to what Dr. Mashelkar and Harsh said and dimensionalize the problem as well as the opportunity for you. Just the amount of plastics in our landfills in India alone is about 2 million kilotons, and that is growing at a high single-digit rate every year.
But has nothing been done till now to address this? Because that number is mind-boggling.
We have just started making a dent in it, which is why we thought it's so important to come up with this report. But that's a staggering number. To put that in context of commercial value, because sometimes we don't understand volume and we understand value. We consume as a nation about somewhere between 35 and 45 billion dollars of plastic annually, okay? And that's growing also at, close to high single digit every year. And as Dr. Mashelkar rightly put it, the recycling component of that is only, single digit. So we are barely recycling any amount, okay? And so this problem is actually compounding. And what this means, just so we can all understand it, the lifetime value of a plastic that goes into the ground is about 10 times the value of the original product. be it because of environmental concerns, be it because of the landfill management costs, or be it the health concerns that all of us feel sitting in Delhi and doing this interview. I think all of you understand that better than people, for example, in Bombay.
Sure.
So this is a problem that potentially is worth hundreds of billions of dollars, which is why it's very important for us as society, as government, as companies and as consumers to actually address it, and it creates a massive opportunity for entrepreneurs.
So we leave it on the show tonight. Thanks so much for watching.